everyone, it is Coach Melissa and I'm here with Home Care Evolution, and today I'm going to be talking about why it is so important for you to be having a weekly meeting with your team, your entire team, on Monday mornings at the beginning of the week to kind of set up that week of success, that structure, and you're strategizing with your team and why it is so important. So I'm going to go over a couple of things of what you should be doing, and maybe you're doing it already, and I applaud you if you are and you're going over your numbers, but we want these meetings to be very strategic for your team to take away and have actionable items to be doing so that all of you guys are working together as that team and you're reaching your goals. So it doesn't matter how big or how small your team currently is. You could have 2 people on your team or you could have 20 people on your team. It doesn't matter. But it's still important for you to be having this kind of interaction and this kind of meeting at the beginning of every part of your week. So I'm going to use the analogy of football because Steve uses that all the time, so we can relate to that. So think of this as like your meeting as being like you're the head coach. So you have your administrator, your owner, whoever, executive director, whatever position that is that oversees all the employees, both internally and externally. You guys are coming together and you're talking about what your goal is. So I always like to project and look at what we did last week and then set yourself up for the following week. So you'll say, okay, this is our goal for the week. We've got 200 hours. Right now, our projected hours, and that is your projected hours are everything that's already in the system and it's staffed, it's ready to go. Our projected hours for this week are 1,500 hours, let's say. So we need, and that's the third thing, we need 500 hours. And so that's the goal that everyone's working on. That sounds a little bit more obtainable for people to hit. So then we talk about with marketers. So you'll go to them. Let's look at our pipeline. So in our pipeline, we've got hot and warm leads. Hot leads are leads that are going to be starting by the end of the week. They have the potential to start by the end of the week. So maybe we need to do an assessment. We need to get an agreement signed, or maybe we have an agreement signed but we need to get it staffed. So that's that opportunity that is achievable. A warm lead is something that's like a week or 2 out, and so that's like filling your pipeline. It's great for your recruiter to know, or even your scheduler. So say there's a client that you have that maybe is a week or 2 left on services, you're letting your caregivers know if they meet the same needs that the caregiver wants in terms of hours and the type of client it is. You're giving them, hey, I know this one's leaving in a couple weeks, but we have someone already for you, which is great communication for your caregiver. So that's why it's really important to talk both for hot and warm leads. And then your scheduler will talk about caregivers available. So we've got these caregivers available. And for anyone that worked in a restaurant, that's your specials of the day. And the specials of the day, honestly, is food that is about to expire. And the chef has took that food and they're fancying it up and making it something, wow, I want to get that, right? Because they want to sell it. They want it to be a wow so that it doesn't expire and they lose money on it. Same thing with our caregivers. If we do not find them work, they're going to go somewhere else, right? And so we don't want to lose them. We don't want to lose that money. We don't want to lose that quality that we have. We want that retention to stay. So we want to give them what they want. And so then it's not just they're available, they can take anything, right? Because we know that they can't. But this is a caregiver that's available to work in this location, or they want 4-hour shifts or 6 or 8 or 12-hour shifts. They want to live in. They are capable of caring for someone on hospice or someone with home health care. They're just companion only. They're fresh right out of school. They don't have much experience. So that's telling the marketer where to go to get that kind of client for that caregiver, right? Because that's what that business development person is supposed to do, is bring in referrals, not just referrals, but referrals that your caregivers want. And then you are selling your caregiver. So you need to know what you have. What's your inventory? What's on that specials list? What's your menu? And then your recruiter can also look at that. What do we need? So if we don't have those caregivers that are available, but we got our 500 hours, and say we've got 300 hours in pending in our hot leads, right? do we have caregivers that are able to take those cases? And not just, yeah, I'll take it. It's they want it. That's what they're looking for. Like, are they looking for 8-hour shifts on this day in that location? Or are they just going to say that they're going to take it because they need work? But then they're going to bail as soon as they find something else that is what they really wanted. You want to avoid that situation. So we want to be very specific in what our caregivers want. And if it isn't something that our caregivers want, the recruiter needs to recruit someone for our client. And we can let that client know, hey, we're going to start this case with a caregiver lead. They're our best caregiver. They start all of our cases. If we don't have a client that is already, someone that is perfect for you and your needs, because we match our clients up with caregivers that fit their needs exactly. That's that difference, right? And so we don't have that quite yet. And again, it's that supply and demand. It's limited availability. It's that sense of urgency. That's okay to say, right? That's a good selling point. And so we are going to recruit a caregiver specifically for you. Wow, that's amazing to be able to say to somebody. But we have a process in place. We're going to give you our caregiver lead. And so now you're letting them know, you're talking as a team, what that strategy is going to be. And then every single day moving forward, you want to talk about those changes. So we got this agreement signed. Now it's going to get staffed and we need to set them up with a caregiver. Now these caregivers aren't available. So you're working off that board in terms of strategy. And so it's, again, with football game, every single, you have that big huddle right in the locker room before you go out there. And then when you're out there on the field, you're having these small little huddles. Okay, so now you got to do this in order to get first down, second down, to get that touchdown, right? And then just because you got that touchdown, so we got this case filled, the game's not over. We still have other things that we need to do in order to win the game, right? In order to reach our goal. And so we still want to strategize together in order to do that. If you don't have this sort of strategy type meeting at the beginning of your week, what you tend to find is that everyone operates individually. You have recruiters recruiting just warm bodies. You've got marketers or business development that's bringing in just referrals. And I call it operating on hopes and dreams. It all matches up and works well together. And we don't want that. We want you to have a really good strategy. And when you start applying a strategy like this into what your everyday is with your team, you are going to blow away that competition.